Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. 260 points down on the mid-cap index. That's 1.5%. Advanced decline at about almost 1:5 is what we have right now. Of course, today's big move has been on Mindtree. That's down about 8%. By the way, Ashok Leyland is recovering a bit. I think yesterday's commentary, the market was spooked. Today, I think there's some may have been soothed, but let's see, if that can sustain. Ashwani Gujral and Mitesh Thakkar back with us. Rajat Bose is also here. Ashwani, you're carrying your shorts on the indices and mid-caps. What's the call for the rest of the day now?
See, the sense is that the Nifty and Bank Nifty are probably in a mood to expand today. And today is the day when you should be playing for the breakdown. And once this area of 10,930, 950 is done, you should have a fairly strong expansion to the downside. And that I say because hardly 276 stocks are higher and 1,200 odd are down. So it's already 1:5, 1:6. So my sense is still a good time to go short on Nifty, Bank Nifty. Even IT is not performing. So that way, individual stocks, Balrampur Chini is a sell with a stop of 63, target of 56. Mindtree is a sell with a stop of 1,035, target of 920. And Havells is a buy with a stop of 965, target of 590.
Okay. Well, just a chance at all that 10,950 will be held. After all, that is the bracket people were working with. No question of a buy there, is it?
See, it looks very unlikely because yesterday morning we were at 11,050 and since then the market has clearly rejected it. We are almost 100 points below it. So it's not like this is a correction and we'll go up again. That looks unlikely, but obviously keep stops. Today's high is a good stop.
Fair enough. Mitesh, good morning to you again. Do you have an index trade at all, or would you prefer stocks?
I'm just on the verge of taking an index trade. 10,940 is my lower boundary, and we've hit a low of around 10,937. I think once we start breaking that, then I think we can buy either short the Nifty directly, or even I would be comfortable buying into the 10,900 or 950 strike put options for the Nifty for the current month. Having said that, I have two sell calls on stocks. Indian Bank is a sell with a stop at 328, and look for targets close to about levels of around 305 over here. And Infratel is a sell as well. Keep a stop at about 291.5 and look for targets of 270.
Okay, Bharti, Infratel, by the way, has also gone ex-dividend by 14 rupees per share. So that explains the fall of 4.5% in that. But Rajat, sell calls for you as well?
Yeah, sell calls for me as well. I mean, I would say that United Breweries, I would put a stop above 1,062 and target would be 1,010 and 995. There is a head and shoulder breakdown in UBL. Jindal Steel and Power, my stop loss would be 184 and target would be 172. This is also a trending down stock and is likely to accentuate further the selling momentum. And Ashok Leyland, I would like to revise the stop loss after the management commentary. I would put it above 113, but the target would remain at 97. Ashok Leyland is still a sale.
Okay. Ashwani, you have a sell on Mindtree. It's already down about 8%. You reckon something like Ashok Leyland could play out with Mindtree today, or would that be too severe a reaction?
See, now what is left to fall? It's these mid-cap IT stocks, a few financials. So results may or may not have been poor, but the market sentiment is so poor that even good news is getting sold off. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mindtree has a really bad day.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for that. We'll chat with you later on in the day as well. But Anuj, going by the mid-cap performance, 250 points gone on the index, very weak advanced decline ratio, and the way Mindtree has fallen despite a fairly good set of earnings, does it tell you that the pain is not over? Because now even the stocks which had seen good gains, money is being taken out of those stocks.
Yeah, we were discussing this before we came on the show, Rima, about Mindtree, that perhaps this just right now you need to come out with really spectacular numbers, and even if you do that, there could be decline. Having said that, I think normally on days like today, when perhaps it's the cute way of looking at it, but if you have an advanced decline straight in the first hour at about 1:5, on top of yesterday's big decline. I'm not talking about Mindtree, which is of course having a bit of a trend day, but in the other broader market, in the Sensex Nifty, today is also weekly options expiry. Kotak Mahindra Bank numbers could be interesting. So we are now very close. We're sort of trying to bounce back from yesterday's low. So this zone is important. If we bounce back a bit from here, I think there could be some buying as well in the second half. In last hour, it's possible. And the way mid caps have been sold is that there's been slam dunk. After that, there's some recovery, and then at higher levels, there's fresh selling. So right now at 1:4, 1:5 advanced decline, I don't know if there's too much. Too much left to sell, at least from intraday point of view. From intraday point of view, perhaps not, but positionally, of course, I think mid caps are going lower. There's absolutely no, as we discussed in the morning, in several stocks, there is not going to be an exit. If you're having hope that you'll get your price back, that is not going to happen. The market might give you rallies, 15%, 10% in individual stocks. Those will be exit opportunities, but getting your price back in a lot of stocks is not going to happen in a hurry.
Yes, so now money's been taken off where you have made it in the likes of mid-cap IT. But let's move on. JK Tyre is holding up in a market like this. Strong set of earnings, a turnaround in the India business. AK Bajoria, the president and director of the company, joins in now. Good morning, Mr. Bajoria. What led to the growth in margins? Because we saw a higher raw material cost for the industry.
See, if you kindly see our turnover, our sales, it has grown. If you take only JK Tyre standalone, it has grown by 43%. Whereas if you take the consolidated, still we have grown by 35%. This is the first time that we have achieved sales of 2,448 crores, which is almost 2,500 crores. So we are actually mentioning, by demonstrating, that we will be trying to achieve a 10,000 crore plus turnover in the whole year. So that is one thing. And this has been possible because we have sold higher truck bus radials, higher passenger car radials, many more 2-3-wheelers and other farm tires. And so it is essentially higher volume sales, plus of course all-round improvement in the efficiencies in all our 12 plants, 9 in India and 3 in Mexico.
Okay. Let's come to raw material prices. They have gone up, especially crude derivatives. Will that impact your margins?
It is difficult and not really permitted to give out our margin forecast and things, but I'm confident that whatever you are seeing in Q1, I think we should be able to maintain these, and not only maintain, I think we should be able to improve them. That is the expectation. Barring, of course, there are two things in tire manufacturing. One is imported crude, which affects all the petro-based raw material, because there is a lot of import in tire manufacturing even in 2018. And the second thing is that the raw material prices, the natural rubber, because you would have seen that even in April, May, the production is almost 16,000 tons less than the corresponding period. Now, essentially, this time Kerala monsoon has come earlier. There has been lesser tapping right from the beginning. But I hope that is going to be made up. And in the meantime, since we have a lot of exports, so we are exporting, and therefore we have import entitlements, and we have imports of rubber, through which we are managing our show. So I think going forward, JK Tyre will have to maintain its performance, which they have shown in Q1, and we should be stabilizing and improving upon these. That's all that I would like to say at this point.
Okay, your Tornel business has grown substantially. Is the worst over there, and do you see the space of growth continuing?
Well, Tornel also, I'm confident that we'll continue at the same pace or even better. See, if you permit me, in Tornel we have done some very, very major labor restructuring, and we have been able to reduce our labor cost from 14.2% to 7.2%. And this was possible because we have come out of the contractor ley. In Mexico, there is a law by which you have to be a member of the contractor ley. So every 12th of February, you have to increase the wages by 5 to 6%, 7% according to the rubber industry. And some tire companies have already come out of it. So we did that exercise last year, and that was another reason that we did not do well in 17-18 as much as we had wanted to, because we did this labor reform of J.K. Tornel.
Yeah, Mr. Majore, I'm really sorry, but we have to end this conversation. We have to cut across to the Mindtree management. They're holding a press conference to talk about their numbers.
Testing and infrastructure management posted approximately a 10% growth each in this quarter. So very pleased with the broad-based growth across all verticals and across all our offerings. This reflects the strong value proposition that Mindtree has built and how customers are buying into that value proposition of wanting to deal with a specialized company in some of their transformational technology initiatives. Other highlights in this quarter were continuing multi-year, multi-million-dollar wins across both digital and run the business programs. Deal wins in this quarter was very strong. We signed $306 million worth of deals in this quarter. Also very happy to share with you an interesting new development which we believe offers a lot of promise in the future. As enterprises are beginning to discover possibilities with technology, we are looking at future technology evolution like artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Some of the world's leading universities are investing a lot of their effort in research in these areas. We would like to enter into a collaboration with these universities, leverage the research that they are doing, and use it to solve problems both for our customers and as well as for society. We announced the first such relationship with Stanford University, where we have committed a $2 million grant to endow a Mindtree faculty scholar position to focus on AI. With that, I'd like to turn this over to my colleague Partha to cover a few more highlights for this quarter.
Thanks, Rostov. A couple of additional points after what Rostov just committed. I think one of the most important things we are realizing is that our operational execution strategy is in lockstep with our business strategy, and this synergy is paying off. Secondly, our expertise-driven customer focus and high-caring, high-performance culture at the workplace is enabling the best of Mindtree minds to come and work for us. This quarter, for example, we had one of the highest number of lateral minds who come and joined us. We had a net add of 700 lateral minds as well as 567 campus minds. 83% of them are based out of India and the remaining are based out of the other countries. Our attrition has been on a continued downward trend for the last 8 quarters, and this quarter was no exception, and we ended the quarter with a 12.2% attrition in the last 12-month basis. Intelligent staffing models are important to ensure that the right minds are in the right projects, and along with that, the right skilling approach that we have taken in terms of reskilling Mindtree minds as well as just-in-time hiring has helped us to improve our utilization to an all-time high of 75.4% in this quarter. Overall, our belief is that we have the right ingredients of strategy, culture as well as expertise, and with the right combination, we believe along with committed Mindtree minds, we are rightly posed to increase market share in the quarters and years to come.
Okay, the management infusing confidence, but the stock is still down close to about 7.5%. And another important point that they made in the conference call yesterday, they said that there was no truth to the media reports which suggested a possible sale by the promoters or by the largest investor, Cafe Coffee Day. But by the way, Anuj, Ashok Leyland, significant recovery from the lows.
Yeah, I think big recovery from the lows on Ashok Leyland. I think what would have happened is that after yesterday's big decline, today also in the morning, a lot of people would have gone short on Ashok Leyland, and perhaps there's just 1 or 2 big funds just coming in and thinking this is good enough time to buy, and that perhaps is explaining that big intraday reversal that you're seeing on the stock right now. So big move right now. Intraday recovery on Ashok Leyland, of course.
Okay. Sensex in the green, the mid-cap index has recovered 100 points from the low point of the day. But let's turn our attention away from the equities onto the commodity and the currency space. Manisha Gupta joins in with a roundup and the early rates. Manisha?
Thank you so much for that. Well, starting with the crude oil prices, while we did see some gains overnight, and the Asian markets, rather, the Indian markets seem to be catching up with that. It actually has been a contradicting set of fundamentals. On one side, you have the U.S. inventories built up by more than 5 million barrels. The U.S. output has recorded an all-time highs of 11 million barrels per day in the previous week. So that is something that would continue to pressurize the prices. But on the other side, Libya has come out with a force majeure on one of its export terminals. You also have reports of Yemen rebels attacking oil facilities of Aramco in Saudi Arabia. So those are the factors which would add premium to prices as well. And between the two of these, we have seen the crude oil prices actually gain up by 0.5% in the Indian markets today. The gold and silver prices in the meanwhile have been under pressure. We are looking at the gold and silver, both of those commodities at around one-year lows. We have been telling you on how the physical buying just has been absent. The gold prices have declined by 2% in the current month, and they are down by 10% now for 2018. So a one-year low really coming in for both of these. It's a long-term accumulation, which the brokerages are really telling you to do. But for the very near term, it still seems that the prices may have some more bearishness to go. 1220 is the kind of support that we have seen the gold prices in the global markets continue to hold. If that breaks, then the psychological level of $1,200 per ounce is not too far away. The base metal prices, of course, have been all over the place as well. Last night, we saw copper and lead prices hit a one-year low. So there is some bargain buying coming in for both of those metals right now. And the zinc prices, which put in the best one-day gain in last 3 years, have seen some profit taking coming in. Well, there has been supply issues for some of these metals, especially in case of steel and zinc, and that would continue to support the prices. But it is about the strength in US dollar and the weak Chinese data, which has led to sell on every uptick that we have seen come in for the base metal prices.